Hey guys, so today we're going to be creating the 4 main BRATZ dolls in Create-A-Sim. Real quick, want to give a little heads up that we do use a bit of custom content in this, but it's not very much. I don't have very much in my game at all, but since I haven't used custom content at all before on my channel, I thought I would just mention that. I just thought it would be appropriate to really make them as fabulous as they need to be. But we are going to be doing a let's play on the BRATZ. I have also created a bunch of the secondary characters, which I'm not going to be doing cast videos on because I just thought that they wouldn't be as interesting. But we are doing a cast video for Berdine and the Tweevils and the little dog Royale. So look forward to that. Make sure you subscribe so you can see that. But as you can see right now, we're working on Chloe. I wanted to make them look like real people and not just like the dolls because that would look really weird if they just had huge eyes and huge mouths and a huge head and like no nose. That would look very strange. So I wanted them to look like real people and each have sort of a different look to them. I didn't want them to look identical because the dolls themselves and even like the animated series and stuff, they all look the same. They just have different skin tones and hair colors and eye colors, but they have the same basic structure. So I wanted them to have a little bit of a different facial structure as well as having somewhat different body types. They're not like too different, but because I didn't want to go too far from the original like doll selves, but I did want them to look a little bit different. So right now we're working on Chloe, but I will go ahead and say Chloe was probably the easiest to make. Oh, also I did want to give them different styles as far as their clothing goes. So Chloe is very like kind of 2000s, kind of gives me some 2000 like Ashley Tisdale vibes, that kind of thing, because I wanted them to reflect their doll selves at least a little bit. And I also gave them different hairstyles for each outfit. Not each outfit, but I did change their hairstyles up a little bit because when you get the dolls, they change up their hairstyles all the time. So I thought, they could be wearing a wig, they could add extensions, something like that, which would make sense for them, and it just felt the truest to their doll selves. But I will go ahead and say I had a lot of trouble with some of the other girls, specifically Jade. I think I had a ton of trouble with because for some reason I just have a lot of trouble creating Asian Sims. It takes me a while to get them right, so it took me a bit to get her nose right, I think, and I think in the end I made her look at least like she was part Asian. I tried my best. I don't know why I struggle with that so much, but I am focusing this series mainly taking a lot of inspiration off of the animated BRATZ like movies and video games, because that's one of the main things that I remember growing up. I was obsessed with BRATZ. Me and my sister were both obsessed with BRATZ. We had so many BRATZ dolls, and obviously when you have the BRATZ doll itself, you can make any sort of personality for it, but to really base their personalities off of for this, I wanted to go off of the animated series from when I was a kid. I know that there's like a TV show now and probably new movies and stuff coming out, but I'm obviously going more so off of the stuff that I remember from when I was a kid, because that's the BRATZ that I remember. I'm not really up to date with the newer BRATZ stuff, although I did look on the like wiki for a lot of this to make sure that I was getting their personalities right and everything, and I wasn't just going off of memory, because my memory is horrible. But I'm really excited to do this Let's Play, and I was thinking that we would kind of go take a lot of inspiration from the games and movies as far as the type of things that they will be getting into, the type of storylines that we'll have in our gameplay, and I want this to be like a really long series. I hope that people like it. But even if they don't, I think that I'll probably end up making it a long series just for me, because I love, like, all the nostalgia that it brings and stuff. When I first started this channel, actually, I wanted it to be, like, I wanted to call it, like, nostalgic games or something like that, but that was already taken, and I didn't want to, like, copy somebody else's channel. And also, I don't really have the equipment available right now to be able to record that. Really all I need, because you can get, like, a free emulator for PS2 or whatever, which is where I have the most of my nostalgic games, and I have some on PS3 as well. You can get one of those online for free, but I need a CD drive, which is like $12, but I just honestly don't have a ton of extra money right now. So when I can get that, I will. So that, because my computer is a Mac Mini and it does not have a CD drive at all, so I'll have to get an external drive, and whenever I can do that, then we will probably do a series on some of the old BRATZ games, as well as some other old, like, nostalgic games, because I love playing those, and it just brings a lot of good, like, childhood memories. So I hope that you guys want to see that as well. But I thought that it would be fun, and I really have wanted to go back and play some of those old BRATZ games that I used to love so much, and play them, like, as a series on the channel, because I think it'd be really fun, and they're honestly kind of fun to make fun of as well, because they're so, like, ridiculous in a way. But we will have to wait for that. So I figured I'd make my own BRATZ Let's Play with The Sims, because that would be fun. So as you can see, like, Chloe's style was kind of girly 2000s. For Jade, I went with more of a sort of grungy type feel, but, you know, grungy for the BRATZ. And as you can see, I kept trying to find a hair that had some blue streaks in it, because I remember in some of the games she had, like, blue streaks in her hair, and I think some of the dolls had it as well. And I think for, like, one of the outfits, I gave her a shorter haircut that has some blue in it, and, you know, just figured she could be wearing a wig or something like that. But I also remember that from the games she had a haircut that had, like, two, I don't know if they were buns or what, but she had something like that. I think they were buns, or she had, like, the two on top of her head. So I thought that this hairstyle, it just instantly reminded me of her. And it is a custom content hair. I would link all of it down below, but I honestly don't remember where I got most of it from, which is annoying. I wish that I could remember, but to be honest, if you search Sims 4 custom content into Tumblr, or if you go to the Sims resource, that's where I found the majority of this stuff. Otherwise, I found everything else from watching people's custom content hauls. Specifically, I watched Deligracies, which I think she only has 2, so it shouldn't be too hard. Just go, and I looked in the links of her custom content hauls. And then I also think I got some from Plumbella's custom content hauls, as well as from her specific Tumblr page. So if you're looking for custom content, those are the ones that I have found from that. And if you look at, like, all the reviews on it and all the notes on Tumblr, whatever, you can tell if it's good custom content or not, if it's gonna work well in your game, pretty much. And then, as you can see, Chloe and Jade are not in the left corner anymore, and that is because I had to do this on a different day. So Sasha and Chloe ended up being, like, a different household, and I had to merge them. So that's why you don't see that. And I had to do that because it took me, I think the footage of me making Chloe and Jade was 4.5 hours long originally, and then the footage of me making Sasha and Yasmin was around 5 hours. So it was a long time I spent on these Sims. But it's because I love them so much. Like, I love the BRATZ so much. Like, they were my jam as a kid. So I wanted to make them right. And I remembered in my BRATZ games, Sasha always, she wore, like, camo pants, and she had, like, this kind of sleeked back haircut, not haircut, but the sleeked back hairdo, where she, like, put it up, and then she had, like, purple shoes with it, so I gave her something that was very reminiscent. I feel like Sasha is, probably, as far as, like, style-wise, the most similar to her, herself from the games and the movies that were around in my childhood. So, because I really liked her style, actually, in the games and stuff. I feel like her everyday style in the games was my favorite, because they all wore, like, these cargo, like, capri pants, and these wedged heels, and, like, tank top. So, I don't know. I didn't want to give them all that exact same thing and just give them different colors. Like I said, I want them to have different styles. So, I tried to differentiate, but with Sasha, I felt like I went sort of off the same, like, color scheme of her original outfit in those games, and sort of went with the same style generally, because hers was my favorite. But my favorite doll is actually Yasmin, which is why I saved her for last. Let me know in the comments what your favorite doll was. I think my sister's was Jade. So let me know, because I'm curious. I don't know. I really liked the way that Yasmin looked. It's kind of funny, because, like, little did I know, years later, figured out that I'm gay, and I happen to like tan girls, and Yasmin, like, fit that description. I was like, oh, well, maybe that's why I liked her, why she was my favorite. And it's kind of funny, because Yasmin has a mole on, like, the side of her face that in The Sims I had to actually switch it to the other side of her face because of my custom content, the mod that takes away the EA eyelashes so that I can put on the custom content eyelashes. It, like, messed up with the specific mole that went on the correct side of Yasmin's face, so I just used the other one, which was fine. But it's kind of funny, because she has that mole, and now my girlfriend, who is Native American, so she is tan, she actually has a mole that is very similarly placed to Yasmin on her face. Like, it's so funny to me that she kind of looks like her a little bit. It's weird. But I don't know. I don't know if it was that I had a crush on her, or if I just liked her the most for whatever reason, but that is what it is. So and for their last names, I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of took a variation on their nickname. So, like, Sasha's last name is Boo, Chloe's is Angel, etc., etc. So I kind of just had to do that, because I don't think that they have official last names, at least not that I know of. Like, I looked on the wiki and everything, and it never said anything about a last name. So I mean, I think in the movie BRATZ for Real, where they did, like, the live action BRATZ movie or whatever, they did have last names. Maybe, I'm not even sure if they said them, but honestly, I don't really take that movie as canon in the BRATZ world, if that's even a thing, because they kind of changed the personality of the BRATZ a lot, so I didn't go off of that at all. But I'm not sure if they had last names in that or what, but I just figured I'll just make it something that's similar to their nickname, so why not? And yeah, I think for Yasmin, I gave her kind of a more, like, hippie look, because from what I looked at on the wiki, it said that her look with the newer BRATZ dolls that are coming out like now, or they came out very recently. She has more of a hippie look, whereas before I think it was like kind of boho but not like fully. So I don't know, I just went kind of full boho, hippie, whatever you want to call it, because I figured it would make her look different enough to the rest, and I wanted them all to have different styles, like distinctly different, so that, I don't know, I feel like it makes things more interesting. So the Let's Play is going to take place in San Myshuno, which is kind of funny because my current Let's Play is also taking place there. Purely like coincidental though, because for the one that I'm doing now, Tainted Love, I wanted it in San Myshuno because I love that world and I hadn't played a lot in it. But this one, it just made more sense to me because in the video games, their office is in like a big like city thing, and in the games and in the movies, that's the only thing you see. You don't really see their houses, and they obviously live in different houses because in the movies and all of that, they're still teenagers, and this is supposed to be when they're like grown up. You know, they're living on their own. So I figured they could live in San Myshuno and have their office and living space all in the same space, and they all live together. And I put them in this really run down apartment so that we could fix it up like they do in BRATZ Rock Angels. Yeah, don't even test my knowledge on this stuff. Like, I know it like the back of my hand. No, not really. But I do know it probably too well for somebody my age. But anyway, I was just obsessed with it as a kid, okay? So we're putting them in a really run-down apartment so that they can fix it up, because that's what happened in like their first movie or whatever that I remember, at least. They get like this really crappy apartment and they like have this whole montage of fixing it up. And obviously we're not going to have like a quick montage of them fixing it up real quick. We're going to have them work for it a little bit. Also, I did give them all different jobs so that they can all kind of have a different job as far as the magazine goes and all of that. But here are just some screenshots. I'll leave you with this so you can see all their faces up close and everything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you'll stay tuned for the Let's Play and subscribe for future content and for the cast video that's coming up on Birdine and the Tweebles. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!